Okay, so today we're going to work on our key concepts, which the county has set aside. And these are the assignments that will be collected and determined whether you complete, incomplete, or are missing. And this is what will go toward your pass or fail, for lack of a better word, for the fourth quarter. So today we're going to be looking at reviewing our multiplication strategies. And so I have a 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication problem here set up. And I want to go back and say that the fourth graders this year, we have already done this. So this is review. And we have done a single digit by single digit, which is basically our multiplication facts. A single digit by a 2-digit number, a single digit by a 3-digit number, 2-digit by 2-digit, which this problem is. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the area model first, and then you see we're going to look at the algorithm. And everybody should know how to do the area model. When you think of area, we think of length times width. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up a box here so that we can do the length times the width. And what we do is we take the 36. So if I were to set this up, I'm going to actually set this up over here. I'm going to take the 36 and I'm going to break it apart into its standard or expanded form. So we have 3 tens, which is worth 30, and 6 ones, which is worth 6. So I have 30 plus 6 is that 36 here. And then the 17, we're going to do the same thing, only this time we're going to put this 10 at the bottom and the 7 at the top on the left-hand side here. So now we're going to go ahead and multiply the boxes. Now, in order to do this, we really start on the right-hand side, because when we go through over here, the algorithm, if we do it in a certain way, we will come up with the right answer, or it shows the progression of how we work on the algorithm. So the first thing we're going to do is 6 times 7, because the 7 is in this row and the 6 is in this column, and we want to know where they meet, and they meet right here in this box. So 7 times 6, since that's a basic fact, we're going to go ahead and write that answer in, and the answer is 42. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to write that 42 underneath our multiplication problem. And then we come to the 7 times 30. And what we want to think about is 7 times 30. I might not know what that is, but if I can think of the basic fact of 7 times 3, I know what 7 times 3 is. It's 21. And then I have that 0 I'm just going to tack on to the end. So 7 times 30 is 210. And I'm going to go ahead and write that over here, and I'm going to make sure that my 1s are lined up, my 10s are lined up, and the 100s are lined up. So now we're going to skip down to the bottom box here, and we have a 10 times a 6, and I can actually put a multiplication sign right there. So 10 times 6, hopefully we know that 10 times 6 is 60, and if not, we could again do that basic fact of 6 times the 1 would be 6, and then we have that 0 left over, so we have 60. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in over here. And finally, we have 10 times 30, and I can think of, well, 1 times 3 is 3, but this time I have 2 zeros I haven't dealt with, so I'm just going to go ahead and write them in. So 10 times 3 would be 300, and I'm going to go ahead and line that up over here. So now all we have to do is just do our addition. So we have 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, well, that would be 2. In the tens column, we have 4 plus 1 is 5. And then 5 plus 6 is 11. Plus 0, well, that's going to be 11. So we're going to put our 1, we're going to carry our 1. So we have 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6. So we have an answer of 612. So I'm going to go ahead and do this same problem using the algorithm. So I'm going to set it up exactly the same way that it's set up over here. Only this time we know that, and for parents, I know that you know this way, and I do want to encourage you that it's okay, but I do, some people, some students know this area model better than they know the algorithm. So I would encourage them to stick with the strategy that they know best. So getting back to this problem, we have, we're going to multiply the 7 times the 6, and we get 42. So I'm going to put the 2 down, but I have to carry the 4. And then we move over to 7 times 3, which is 21, plus the 4 is 25. So 21 plus the 4 is 25. So I'm going to write that in right there. Okay, so now that we have, I'm going to cross this 4 off because we've used it. So now we're going to move over to this 1. And because we're moving over and starting multiplying with the tens digit, I'm going to want to put my answer starting in the tens place. So I don't want anything in the ones place here. So I'm going to place a 0. So now I'm going to go ahead and do 1 times 6. And 1 times 6 is 6. And then I have 1 times 3, which is 3. And I can go ahead and add up these, and these are partial products. And by the way, up here, these are all partial products as well, as you can see right here. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 5 plus 6 is 11. We're going to carry the 1. 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. So I have the same answer of 612 with using the algorithm, 612 using the area model. And I want to note something here. This partial product of 252, I get that up here with the area model. 210 plus 42, if I were to add those together, I get 252. And 300 plus 60, I get 360. And those are the same partial products that I have down here. So either way, we have the same answer. And it's a good way to check our work is if we have the same answer using 2 different strategies, then most likely we know we have it correct. And for the students who are doing the algorithm only, if you want to go ahead and check that with a calculator, that would be fine. But if you get it wrong, I would encourage you to go back and use the area model. Okay, one last thing that I want to go over is a 3-digit, and I'm just going to make up a 3-digit number here, 659, and multiply that times a single digit. Let's go times 4. So again, I'm going to use the algorithm here. We could set up an area model, but we are more familiar with the area model using a 2-digit times 2-digit. So we've done plenty of these using the algorithm. So we start with the 4 times the 9. 4 times 9 is 36. I'm going to carry my 3. 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Plus the 3 would be 23. But I can only put the 3 in the tens place. The 2 gets carried. And 4 times 6 is 24. And then I add that number I carried. So 4 times 6 is 24 plus 2 is 26. So my answer is 2,636. All right. So those are some strategies. You have 2 different assignments on your chart this week in Canvas to go ahead and work on. There is one word problem, and I want to encourage you, make sure that if it's a word problem that you are putting in the sentence that answers the question that's being asked. All right. Hope you recall this information. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you.